This is lesson 1. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I want you guys to open your books to page 6 and 7. This is kind of where it all starts, and it starts teaching you about the piano. And I just wanted to point out a couple of things. Most people know about this, but piano is a string instrument. It actually has strings inside that are hit by mallets. And so each key has between 1 to 3 strings. The lower keys have less strings and the higher keys have more strings. These are the keys. You have black keys and white keys. And as you press those, the mallet hits the strings up inside the piano. Unless you're on a keyboard, that's a totally different story. But there's a few other things I just wanted to point out really quick. Most pianos have 3 pedals on the bottom. The one on the very right is called the damper pedal. And if you press this pedal, you will notice that your sound is sustained. So I'm going to show you here on my piano. There's my 3 pedals on the bottom. So if I were to hit just a C and I press this, it's going to sustain that sound out. It kind of like mushes it all together, if you can hear that. Okay, the very left pedal, this pedal will take the hammers inside of the piano and it'll shift them to the left just a little bit so they don't hit all of the strings. So this pedal is for playing softly. So if I were to play something, but I wanted to soften it and play softer, I would play this damper pedal, and it helps me get, helps me play those parts of music that are quieter. So this one is used, fairly regularly, and this one is used a lot. This pedal, sustain pedal, is used quite a bit. This middle pedal, I actually only learned what this does today. I have never in my whole life used this middle pedal, but it's actually kind of a neat pedal. It's called the sostenuto pedal. But what it does is, if I wanted to sustain one note and then play other notes that weren't sustained, I would use this pedal. So what I would do is I would hit my note, hit the pedal, and it would sustain it, but the rest of the notes would not be sustained that I wanted to play. Okay, so that's what that pedal is for. All right, so now we know the parts of the piano. You can look more into that if you'd like. All right, so as we start playing the piano, we need to know a few things. First is the posture at the piano, okay? And if you look at this lady, she's gonna give you just a good example of how to do that. So as you play the piano, you don't wanna slouch, you wanna be sitting straight up. Okay, your shoulders are relaxed, your arms are relaxed, and you want to be from the piano where your knuckles could reach just this part of that part of the piano as you're sitting straight up. So you don't want to be leaning forward or leaning back, and that's when you know that you've got the right, your bench in the right place and you're sitting the right length from the piano. So as you're playing the piano, you want to make sure that your hand is very curved, okay? If I were to play the piano with flat fingers, I wouldn't be able to reach these fingers up to the keys. So I curve my hand just like this, just like I have a bubble inside of my hand. And that way I can reach all my keys, all my fingers up to the keys and be able to play. Okay? And you want to play on the tips of your fingers, and you don't want your fingers to kind of flop. You want to keep those rounded as well. So you've got a nice curved hand as you're playing. That's what it shows here in your book, okay? And then you just want to be relaxed, your feet on the floor, and your arms kind of in an L shape, just relaxed too. Your wrists just want to be kind of level. You don't want them to be dropped too far. Okay, you don't want to play with your wrists down like this, or your wrists up like this. You just have them relaxed so your hand is in a good position. Okay? All right. Next, we're going to talk about finger numbers. So your fingers are numbered so that you can play the right fingering in songs. Your thumb is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're going to do a little game, and I'm going to tell you to hold up a certain finger, okay, or wiggle a certain finger. So use your left hand first. So wiggle your 2 finger, okay? Wiggle your 5 finger. I I didn't mean to wiggle my forefinger. Wiggle your 3 finger. Wiggle your 4 finger. Okay, wiggle your 5 finger. 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, all right, now use your right hand and we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, 2, 4. Ugh, 4 is hard to move. 5, 3, 1, 5, 2, 4. Okay. All right, so that's pretty easy for adults to learn. So we're gonna just keep moving on. What you're gonna do, we're just gonna go ahead and play on the piano for a second, okay? It says, we're gonna skip this little scratchy thing. With a rounded hand position and firm fingertips, choose any white key. Play it with the right hand, finger 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Okay, now reverse, starting with the 5 finger. So you're gonna come over here to your keyboard, okay? And you're gonna pick a key, and you're gonna first play it with your 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, 4 finger, 5 finger. So you're gonna play the same key. Then you're gonna go back the same way, okay? Okay, and then you're gonna do it with your other hand. You wanna keep your fingers rounded. I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna keep my fingers rounded, playing on the tips of my fingers, and I'm also playing right in the middle of that white key. You don't wanna play up here in the black keys. You wanna play right in the middle of that white key as you're playing on the white keys. Okay, so we can go to ones, dun, 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 dun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? All right. We can go ahead and move on. Today for the first lesson, we're gonna go to page 15. So, this is pretty self-explanatory. If you're going up on the keyboard, your notes get higher. If you're going down on the keyboard, your notes get lower, okay? And piano can be played at different dynamics, is what it's called, different levels of sound. So when you see a P, this means piano, which is the Italian word for soft or quiet, okay? So that's when you would play your keys lightly and just quietly, okay? You still have to push them down hard enough that they play, but you play them lightly, okay? And then forte is loud. So that's when you play your keys harder, and the harder you play, the louder it gets, okay, and softer, okay? So just keep that in mind. P is for piano or soft, F is for forte or loud. All right, so they're gonna give you a little assignment here on this page. This is called Raindrops for the right hand and Thunder for the left hand. And what they're going to do is they're going to get you familiar with the black keys and the white keys on the keyboard. So we are going to jump over here to the keyboard. And we're going to go ahead and look at this. Okay, it says begin and end in the middle of the keyboard. Use right hand fingers 1 and 2 and 3 together. Play the 2 black key groups going up and back down the keys higher than lower. Okay, play piano, so we're going to play quietly. Sink gently into the keys, lift gently from the wrist as you move across the keys. Now play the damper pedal, the right foot pedal throughout. Keep your heel on the floor and your foot in contact with the surface of the pedal. Listen to the sound. Okay, so this is how it goes. We are going to start in the middle of the keyboard. Okay, this is the middle of my keyboard. This is middle C in the middle of my keyboard. So I'm going to start here, it says with my 2 and my 3 fingers, and I'm going to softly move up the keyboard, just depressing softly my 2 and 3 finger down on the black keys, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and do it with my damper pedal. So I'm gonna press my pedal, put my heel on my floor, hope you like my socks, and we're gonna go up, okay? If you notice, your sound changes to a sustained sound. Now, if you don't have pedals, say you have a keyboard that doesn't have pedals, then just do your best. Don't worry about the sustain, okay? All right, next you're gonna use your You're gonna use your 2 and your 3 finger. Okay, using your left hand this time. We're gonna play the groups of 2 black keys together, going down this time. And we're gonna play loud with the weight of your arm for a rich, deep tone. Now play and depress the damper pedal throughout. Okay, so same thing. We're gonna start in the middle with our left hand this time. And see how we have groups of 3 and groups of 2. We're playing on those groups of 2 again with our 2 finger and our 3 finger. So this time we're playing loud. Going back up. Okay, then we're gonna do it again. We're gonna depress our damper pedal and play again. That is it. Go ahead and turn the page, and we are to our first song. Okay, this is Amazing Grace. Now, on the top of your page, they're going to give you a map as to where you should place your hands. So looking here, you can see that your right hand needs to be placed on a set of 3 with your pinky on the set of 2 above it. Okay, so your fingers 1, 2, 3, and 5 will be playing on your right hand. And your fingers 2 and 3 will play on your left hand on a group of 2 black keys. So I'm gonna set my phone up and hopefully you can tell what's going on. Okay, so in our map we saw that we need to have our 2 and 3 finger on our left hand here on one of the set of 2 black keys. And our right hand, we're gonna have our thumb, 1, 2, 3, and then our pinky here on 5, okay? So this is our hand position, okay? Now, they don't give you too much timing. They're relying on your ability to use your ear and kind of know this song because it's familiar, Amazing Grace. So I'm gonna play it for you the first time and just show you how it goes. All right, so when you start playing, you'll notice that it says on your book, left hand here and right hand here. So your left hand kind of sneaks up on you a little bit. So they're saying you play your 3 finger on your left. So it starts 3, 1 on your right. So you're gonna start with your left, dun, dun, okay? Now we're gonna try playing with the duet, okay? The piano duet. So I've gone ahead and recorded this duet, and we're gonna do, it's gonna be 2 counts of 3, and we're gonna come in on number 3 on the second count. So it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we start, okay? So I'm gonna show you how this goes. 2, 3, 1, 2, start. Oh, stop. Sorry. Okay, try again. All right, this is hard for me. Oh, okay, here we go. Try again. I gotta get my fingers in the right places. That's my problem. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna I'm gonna play it again, and I'm gonna have you come in on your own. So this is where you can practice with this part of the video a few times. So I'm gonna have you play it on your own. 2, 3, 1, 2, start. Sing grace. So you can continue practicing this as much as you need to until you feel like you've got it just right. Okay, so I'm assigning you for today Amazing Grace. Okay, and then we're actually going to go on to the next song as well. And it's called Camptown Races. Okay, now before we start this next song, we're going to talk about some notes. Try not to turn my camera off again. Okay, in music you have rhythm, and rhythm is like the beat, okay? In a lot of music, there's 4 counts to a beat, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that is the most common beat, is the 4/4 beat, it's called. So what we need to learn is the notes and what they look like and what that represents. So the different notes represent a different beat or a different amount of time that each note needs to be held. Okay, so I want you to imagine this is like a dollar. Okay, in a dollar we have 4 quarters, and each quarter gets 1 count. Okay, so a quarter note gets 1 count. So if I were to play this and it was with my beat, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of those would play on the beat with 1 count. Okay, now the next note is called a half note, and if you can guess, it gets 2 counts. Okay, it gets half the dollar, which is 2 quarters, so you get 2 counts. Okay, so a half note is just a note with a stem that is not filled in. So if I were to count this, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm holding my note down. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can count it 1, 2, 1, 2, but we're gonna go ahead and if you're counting this way, this is a really good way to start kids off counting, so that's easier. But we're gonna go ahead and act as if this is a whole measure, and our beats this would be beat 1, 2, and this would be beat 3, 4. Okay. All right. So the next note is a dotted half note, and this note gets 3 counts. It's a half note with an extra. Okay. So if I were to count this, it would be 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. Or if we're doing it by measure, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this would get the 1, 2, 3 beat, and this would get the 4 beat. So the last note that we're talking about is a whole note, and it's 4 counts. So a whole 1, 2, 3, 4, and it gets that whole measure, or the whole amount of all the beats. Okay. All right, so here's our next song. Now, up at the top, you've got your hand placement again. Okay. You've got your left hand on 3 black keys and your right hand on 2 black keys. And your fingers are 2, 3, and 4 on your left and 2, 3 on your right. So make sure you've got your hand positioned in the right place. Now we're ready. So in this song, we've got our 4, 3, and 2 fingers on our left hand, and then our 2 and 3 fingers on our right hand. Okay, so follow along on your music as I play this. Okay, so I'm gonna count the beats just as in 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you notice, all 4 let's see, 6 of your first notes are just quarter notes, so they're gonna get 1 count. So here it goes. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? So you've got your quarter notes and then some half notes and some dotted half notes. So if you remember, I'm going to count it just with the count per note. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so maybe that made a little bit more sense. All right, so now I'm going to play the duet with you, okay? And as we're doing this, the way that I like to start duets is we say 1, 2, ready, go. And then that's when you start. So we say 1, 2, ready, go. Dun, 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 dun. Because we're using that same beat as the way we spoke. 1, 2, ready, go, okay? So I'm gonna count us off, say 1, 2, ready, go, and then you can play with me. Okay, so 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'm gonna do it one more time and not say anything, not sing along. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and that is your only assignment for today. Those 2 songs, I want you to get them perfected. This ends our first lesson. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. And good luck. I'll be making the next lesson, and you can come on to the next one soon.